Are you ready? Stand by.
Welcome to the 3Gun Show, episode 78. I'm your host, Dave Hartman. My guest this week is Carolina Guns and Gear shooter Kyle Soule. This episode is brought to you by MGM Targets. Have you ever been in a match and thought, wow, I really need practice on those skinny knockdowns, or long-range practice sure would be easier if I had a couple steel targets with hit indicators on them? Well, you can get the same quality steel targets that you see in major matches at MGM Targets. My favorite target lately has been the standard shape auto poppers. Those little things are challenging for pistol, shotgun, or rifle, and because they automatically reset, you can run more drills and drills with positional work without bothering to break for reset. Step up your practice or outfit your range and use the code DHMGM10 to save 10% on your purchase. MGM Targets is putting up some great prizes to give away to you over the next few months. June's giveaway is for a 10-inch Sportsman's target like the one that we gave away in March. For details and to enter, go to 3gunshow.com/MGM. In this episode, Kyle and I discussed the 3Gun Nation Pro Series drag race match experience and the twist that they threw in this year, how some words of encouragement from a role model can calm your nerves when you need it most, and how you can shoot the 3Gun Nation Pro stages to see where you stack up against the big dogs. I've included selected links in the show notes, including Kyle's social media accounts and a special match announcement that I'll tell you about after the show. So head on over to 3gunshow.com/episode 78, or you can just tap the album art on your smartphone and it will take you right there. And now please join me in welcoming to the show, Carolina Guns and Gear shooter, Kyle Soule. Kyle, welcome to the 3Gun Show.
Hey Dave, glad to be here, man.
I'm glad to have you, man. It was nice to meet you in Texas. We got to shoot on the same squad together and endure the rain together and have soggy socks together.
I still have a wet pair of socks somewhere.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that today. Like, I pulled my gun cases out of my truck. I'm like, oh, I forgot to dry those out.
Yeah, they'll smell like mold and dirty water.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting first regional experience for me, and we'll get into your regional experience as well. But first, Kyle, why don't you tell me who you are off the range? What do you do when you're not shooting?
Well, I'd say 95% of my life kind of revolves around a range or firearms industry somehow, some way. When I'm not shooting a match or anything like that, I'm working at a gun range / gun store. It's Carolina Guns and Gear in Asheboro. Those guys down there are awesome. Sal and Jason really take care of me, and they're a new 3Gun Nation club. They're really popular. Starting to get popular, and they're real friendly to new shooters. It's a really good match. We actually have one going on this weekend, and we've been building all week for it. So that's pretty much it. Outside, but when I don't have a match or anything scheduled like that, or when I'm not working, I like to take as much time as I can to go out and do a little bit of hunting and fishing or somewhere, depending on the season. When it's cold, when you're 15 degrees and there's no match going on because no one wants to go out and load shotguns and freeze. I'm out trying to either kill a deer or ducks and something like that. Sometimes during the springtime, you get a weekend off, you go out and try to kill a turkey. Being in the woods kind of calms me, relaxes me. It's kind of a getaway. Really, it's a pretty good escape from reality.
Nice. Yeah, there's something about like getting out into nature that just kind of like gets you back to like maybe your caveman roots or whatever it is, and gets you back to that center and everything when you're stressed out.
Exactly. I remember me and you were talking in Texas about trout fishing, man, and that's one thing when you're walking there on the stream and it's just you feel the water, and it's just crisp and cold and you can hear it flowing. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, for sure. So you work at Carolina Guns and Gear, and I think I've seen some stuff with them and their new match. What's the range like to be able to host a 3Gun Nation club match?
It's small right now, but it's growing. It's definitely going to be a really nice facility here in the next couple of months. They're actually adding 7 new bays hopefully, depending on the land and layout and stuff, they're planning on doing 50 by 50 bays. So those would be awesome for three-gun matches. But right now, we have a couple 25-yard training pits, a 50-yard pit, and a 70-yard kind of open area. We got some jungle run areas, and a 400-yard range that mainly that's our long range stage. So I think it's only in its third or fourth match as far as three gun. They've been running USPSA out there for ages, but no, it's awesome, man. It's a great place. Really, really smart guys and guys that that want to grow the sport and three gun, and they're making the right calls.
So it sounds like a pretty good size range based on what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's a decent sized place. I'm not sure on the acreage, but we usually run 6 stages per match. Good long stages. You get your money's worth, and you come out, pay $35, and you start shooting at 9, and you pretty much it's an all day affair. You get your full $35 worth, and Jason does some really good stage designs. I know him and my dad Charles Soule have been working together a lot on stages, and trying to make the matches go better, because when you have a good match to new shooters, it's kind of like crack, man. They just want to come.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the quality match definitely does make a difference. I know that when I've had good matches to go to, it definitely makes you want to come back to them for sure.
Another thing too, it's awesome. Kind of in the southeast region, we have a lot of good shooters here in the North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina area, even Georgia. We have some people trickle in from up there. So we go out in the match. You're going to be going against 10, 15 really good guys. I know Tommy Smith will be out there. He's a 3Gun Nation pro. Myself being in the pro series, I wouldn't consider myself top of the line shooter, but we still have a good time, and it's good competition.
So you've been shooting a 3-gun for quite a while now. When did that start for you, and how were you introduced to 3-gun?
Well, taking it seriously, I've probably been doing it 2 years, just really seriously. But I've been shooting 3-gun for about 6 years now. I started when I was a freshman in high school. It's kind of funny. So my dad, Charles Soule, he runs 3Gun Nation regional matches, and kind of a big name out there as far as match director, the Rainmaker, as people like to call him. But
well-deserved
he was
name.
running. What's that?
A well-deserved name.
Yes. Bring your muck boots every match, pretty much, is what I do now.
Yeah, for sure.
He was running matches there. Him and a couple guys started up, kind of begging clubs to, let him run a match out there. So, I've always was kind of his right-hand man, and, always helped him. And, we went out, and really, it's kind of funny. He was shooting, actually. He doesn't really talk about it much because, he's big time in the match directing part of things, but he was shooting a lot and kind of for fun. But one day, literally, I woke up, it was a match morning, and he handed me all the guns and gear and some ammo and said, "Guess what? You're going to be shooting today." And I kind of had that bug-eyed look like, what? But no, it was a good time.
Just got tossed in.
Yeah, it was really weird. I didn't want to shoot. I've always gone to matches and watched and helped out, but I never did shoot. Not because I was afraid. I just didn't want to, really. It was just, that looks cool, whatever. But once I first shot, I was immediately hooked, and then started working, side jobs here and there, trying to earn some extra money to buy rifles and, pitch in on ammo and help them reload and stuff like that. So it's kind of taken off from there. When I was in high school, though, I didn't really do it as seriously because, I was playing 2 other sports and stuff like that, running track and football and baseball at times. And it's just, I looked at it and it was fun. It was a hobby. It really wasn't like a passion to me, but kind of shot all through my high school year. Then when I graduated the summer of June of 2014, I kind of, just looked at myself and I was like, you kind of don't have football anymore. Baseball's gone, track's gone. You're not in high school. Time to make real money and trying to do something you love too. So I kind of jumped in and started really taking it seriously. Started practicing as much as I could, but listen to the right people and listen to the right things to do as far as stage breakdown and stuff like that. And a lot of guys have helped me on the way. It is definitely not my efforts alone. I can name probably 5 off the bat. Rob Romero, Rob Tate, Ravin Perry, Andy Peterson, and a lot of other guys, man, that have really helped me along the way and still help me to this day. And you got to be grateful for that, because you don't get that in football or baseball. Three gun, it's really a brotherhood, a really nice camaraderie, and you look forward to going out and spending good times with really good friends.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that's one of the cool things about this sport is that, you get that type of mentorship, or, like a behind the scenes or training from people just as you're shooting the matches. And, and then even you make those relationships and those friendships, and then off the match, you get that, like you said, camaraderie as well. So it's very unique in that manner. And it makes it kind of, it's a very welcoming environment for juniors to shoot in. I would think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without a lot of people, have really stepped in and helped a lot. It's amazing, especially because junior shooters are the roots of the sport, man. Because in 10 years they're going to be the face of it. A couple people are already the face of it now. You look at Nate. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name.
Staskowitz.
Yeah, crazy name. You look at Ashley Rourke. She's awesome. Tim Yackley, a guy, or a kid, but a guy I look at kind of as a rival in a way, but also a guy I have a great deal of respect with, because me and him being the same age and kind of shooting together growing up, as going to all these big matches and seeing him there, I've kind of always had that edge to try to beat him, but he's got some great family up there that help him out, but it's amazing to see how much these junior shooters are going in the right direction. Those 3 right there, give me, if not beat me, give me a run for money every match. So it's kind of cool.
Well, and it's amazing to see them, at the top as well. Like Nate Staskowitz won the Colorado Noveski, Colorado, whatever it is, multi-gun championship last year, and and that was like 180 dudes or something, and yeah. Just beat them all. It's crazy.
That kid's a freak of nature.
He's amazing.
I would love to see just him and Brian Nelson just to shoot head to head, just a 2-man match, just Brian Nelson and Nate, just to see who would win that one.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one too. They're both like super tall, so you'd be able to see them from far away.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, Kyle, you started taking 3-gun seriously when you're looking for some sort of like competitive outlet outside of high school sports. So did you find that like in the regional series, in club matches? How did that work for you? What was the thought process there in what you were going to accomplish?
Well, it all started with Dad's local matches back then. It was Tar Heel 3-gun when he was running, and I try to strive myself to do well, and worked at it a lot between setup days and other work days and stuff like that. Man, it was a long, and still is a long process. I'm still not where I need to be. Still have a lot of work to do, as a lot of us do in this sport. But kind of going from there, and then I've always been a setup, on the setup crew for the regionals, so it's cool to go there, and I try telling myself, hey man, you're going to do pretty good, and just keep your head together at the regionals. And that's really the gateway into the pro series and stuff like that, is the regionals and other major matches across. But no, it's especially with 3-Gun Nation, man, all the matches they're running nowadays, it's incredible.
Yeah, there's definitely a ton of them. So you mentioned that the regional series is the gateway to the pro series. Did you set out to get to the pro match through the regional series, or was it just like a benefit of your performance? Did you plan it? Is basically what I'm asking.
Yeah, it was my goal going into the fall months of 2014. I think it was the second year of the regionals, and kind of worked a lot on long stages and stuff like that. Kind of enduring during the suck, so to say, during the matches. Just getting better at little fundamental things, and um, I ended up doing okay. I kind of stayed in the top 25, top 30 region. Um, and then one match, it was Texas of October, and I actually did pretty well. I think I was like, I can't really remember off the top of my head, but somewhere in the top 15, somewhere around there. And I found out, I think of December of that same year, hey, you're going to the Pro Series qualifier in February of 2015, and you have a couple months, so get ready. And
Awesome.
I was waist deep in a swamp most of the time, so I was, I'll get to practicing, and I could go out to the range and do some stuff. I just never really had the drive because I was, I don't know why. One, I don't like the cold, but and I love hunting too, so that was an issue. But now when I found out, I was pretty excited. I knew I had a big goal to reach, but uh, I I believed in myself on some portions and some scales, but it was definitely a humbling experience.
So what did your once you found out that you were going to the qualifier match, what did your practice look like for that?
Just a lot of shooting on the move type stuff. Making decisions with my strong suits, like 3GS Nation, on the pretty much every match you're going to go to with from the regionals, you're going to find stages that it's going to be, play to your strengths. You can shoot, pistol with, or you can shoot, excuse me, you can shoot paper with, pistol, rifle, or shotgun slug, and you can shoot a plate rack with, pistol or shotgun and stuff like that. So kind of just playing to my strengths. For me, the long gun, the longer the gun, the better because I'm not that great of a pistol shooter. I jumped right into 3 gun. I've counted on my finger to this day. I've shot 6 pistol matches in my entire life. So I kind of played in my strengths there. The rifle and shotgun, I absolutely love, but a lot of stuff like that. And those matches are. It's not about if who's the faster shooter. It's about who executes their plan the best and who has the most consistent match. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's just kind of working on fundamentals. I had a short time to do it, and it definitely showed in the qualifier match. I didn't do well at all. It was it was tough but fun. I shot with a lot of good guys. Andy Peterson, Eric Eckerhard, who ended up winning the match.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other good shooters on that squad. Ryan Calhoun, I think. Just a lot of good guys. Dylan Easley, I think, pretty sure was there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was fun, man. I had a blast.
Yeah, it looks like a quite a cool format for the guys. You're sitting there on stools and watching everyone run through their runs, and then you've got like the group practice during the day and everything. The hard
Yeah.
part would be like the match runs till like 4 in the morning because they want to do it all at night. That'd be rough.
My night, or talking about my pro series, my night was over at about 8:30. I shot one stage, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, it's cool. I've actually helped out with some of the matches, and we're there pretty late. Just it's like a lot of people say, it's a production, man. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool, but definitely when you're hitting Waffle House at 2:30 in the morning on the way home, you're you're pretty tired.
Yeah, it's a little rough. So when you made that transition, then you shot your 2015 match. It was over pretty early, and then you're going into the 2016 series or season here.
Mhm.
What did you change about your practice? Are you going to be getting to more pistol matches? Or are you just going to stick to your strong suits, rifle and shotgun? Are you making any
My
changes?
my 2015, actually, I didn't get into Pro Series till this year.
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't
okay.
that qualifier match in February. I ended up outside of back then it was the top 16 shooters got in. I was like 25th or somewhere around there. Didn't really perform as well as I liked.
I gotcha.
But then I kept shooting the regionals all last year. Stayed pretty consistent. Like I said, inside the top 20. And I think at that match is respectable. It's not blazing. It's not Keith Garcia. It's not Rob Romero fast, but it's fairly respectable. And ended up getting an invite to nationals, and nationals last year, the Three Gun Nation Nationals was pretty much the Pro Series qualifier. They took the top 16 guys that shot nationals who weren't a pro or not returning pros, pretty much. It was that match was pretty bad too, to say the least. I left a lot on the field there. I started off my first stage when I went down. I think it was like 25 seconds in penalties just because of dumb, stupid mistakes. But ended up, I think, like 32nd out of. I mean, you were there. It was what, probably 300 some odd shooters
Yeah.
at that match. It was crazy. Ended up getting an invite though. Surprisingly, I was on my way to work, leaving my gunsmith's house on my way to work, and Chad Adams, the vice president of Three Good Nation, called me. He's like, "Hey man," I was like, "Hey, what's up? You never called me. What's up with this?" And he's like, "You want to be a pro or not?" I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not?" So this was a 2016 when I found out that he called me, I think, again somewhere around January, February, and he was like, "Yep, your match is match 2, March 17th. So we'll see you then." I was like, "Well, I have a month to prepare for this, so let's do it."
Yeah. Now, is it hard to I mean, a month seems like a long time, but when you throw in like, work and other matches and other obligations into it, then is it hard to prepare for your pro match in that short amount of time?
I'd say depending on what job you have. Luckily, I work at a gun range, and I have great bosses who not only help me out as far as getting equipment and stuff, but they also sponsor me and let me shoot on the range whenever I need to. So I get out of work probably 3 or 4 hours early and just go train, work on the stuff we're going to see, because they emailed us the stages so everybody could see them. Offhand plate racks, pistol seal, and quick turn and burn stages, followed by okay, you got to hit the brakes and kind of see your sights and a lot of stuff. I felt like I was pretty prepared going in. I did a lot of practice. I think for 3 straight weeks I was on the range 4 or 5 days at a time. Too bad it didn't show, but that's another frustrating thing about the sport. You put a lot of work in, and sometimes it doesn't really show on the scoreboard.
Right. Yeah, because there's someone else putting in just as much work, maybe has a couple years more experience, or is putting in a little bit more work or something like that.
Yeah. For me, that match was all about my mental aspect. I knew going in I was going to be nervous. I mean, how could you not be? You're under the lights. You got cameras all over you. You got guys sticking a microphone in your face saying, "Tell me about this run," or "What are you going to do?"
And you're shooting
And
with like your idols and everything.
yeah, shoot with guys like Greg Jordan, who's won the Pro Series championship before and many matches. He's claimed. You got my group. I have BJ Norris too. World champion pistol shooter in all aspects, pretty much. Anything with a pistol, he's pretty much awesome at. And shooting again, like I said, with Tim Yackley, kind of that rivalry, but a really good respect I have for him, because he's a hell of a shooter. And Aaron Reed, a guy who's pretty local to me, been shooting together with him for probably about 3 years now. Great guy to talk to and shoot with. He's a good time. But no, it was fun. Kind of going into the practice and the interviews, I'm sitting over there kind of shaking and really nervous. And Greg looks at me. He's like, "You all right, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, just shooting with you. No big deal." He said, "Look, it's just another match. Just relax and have fun." And I think there I was pretty confident. Did really well in practice. Actually, I was kind of hanging with the top guys. If not beating them on some stuff, and I felt pretty good going into it. But didn't work out for me that way. Like I said, my night was really, really short.
Well, for the audience, why don't you describe what the stages were like, and then we can run through how your match performance went.
Yeah. So the first stage, I think it's called speed or something like that. You have it's no options. It's you're told what to do, because It's pretty much a drag race. Who can do it best? Um, you had three pieces of paper and then an offhand plate racket like 50 yards. Another three pieces of paper. Dump your rifle, run over, and you got pistol steel, big old lollipop poppers, followed by 4x10 knockovers, all 10 yards in front of you, staring at your face. And I think it was like 14 or 15 of them. So you couldn't have too many misses, or else you'd go empty. But it was one of those where you could gas it up on the lollipops, and then you tone it back a little bit and slow down on the 4x10 knockover steel. Then you got to dump your pistol, pick up your shotgun, and you had nine or so clays. Yeah, I think it was nine. It was nine clays kind of lined up in some weird formations where you can get some doubles and some triples. And then you had to run to the box and step in and shoot four slug papers at about 45 yards, which is a pretty good distance for a slug, considering the smooth bore shotguns we use. And you kind of have to know your slug hold at that distance. Then you had to dump and hit that infamous stop button, which was getting a lot of guys in practice, man, because they'd be done and looking around, and you'd be yelling out, "Hit the button! You're not done." So it was getting a lot of guys, but that was a fun stage, and they had a couple other stages.
Well, let's take a second to describe the stop button here. So, traditionally when we're done shooting, we just stop shooting because the timer records audibly our last shot, right? And so it's from the sound of the buzzer to the last shot fired. So they threw a little bit of a twist into it. What was that twist?
You had to stop yourself. You had to get rid of your current firearm that you had, and stop yourself. You had to stop the time, and it was cool. They had a camera on it, a little GoPro that was right there, so you could see them, see you shooting. And you have to run over there, and you can see the expression of, "Oh my God, no!" It was kind of cool. Added a lot of excitement to it. I know watching I went up and watched Nick Atkinson's pro match and Rick Birdsall's. They both of them actually stood there a couple of seconds after and were like, "Okay, I'm done. I kicked it. Did pretty good." And oh, I gotta hit the button. So
yeah,
it was it's cool to watch, man. A lot of guys are doing that in practice, but kind of as a group thing, we said, "Hey, we're not going to do that. We're going to, we're going to remind you, as much as we can until the match starts. Hit the button, because that's, matter of seconds. You can stand there and waste 5 to 7 seconds, and boom, there's your match right there, man."
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially when you talk about how short those stages are, and like you were saying, they're just a drag race to the end. But yeah, breaking all those years of programming where you just done shooting and you show your firearm to someone.
Exactly. It's it was definitely a little bit stressful, but kind of fun too at the same time when you run over there and time it, and you're looking like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Yeah. So what were the other stages like, and did they have that stop button as well?
Yes, all of them had that stop button. That was kind of a new thing for 2016. You stop yourself, you start yourself, and you stop yourself. We're just going to let you run free. We're going to watch you, but we're going to let you run free, pretty much. It was cool. But some of the other stages, and they're really, really fun, man. One of them, I think it was stage 2. You started with an empty shotgun, empty rifle, empty pistol, and shotgun. You had to obviously pick it up, load, and you had a propeller rack that you had to activate, and so that thing's staring at you in the face, and you're trying to stuff shells in your gun as fast as you can. So you're going to fumble here or there or something like that, unless you're a Keith Garcia loader. And you shoot that with a shotgun, then you had to run over, ditch the shotgun, run over with your rifle. It's laying there empty, mag's next to it, or you can pull one from your belt, seat the mag, and close the bolt. And then you had a couple poppers, MGM poppers, out there 50 or so yards, and then you had close-up paper, right in your face. So you had to focus in, see your sights, hit the popper, burn the paper. Then you had to do a mandatory mag change with the rifle, burn the paper, and again see your sights again on the rifle portion. Watch those poppers fall. Hopefully 1 for 1. Then you dumped it, ran to your pistol. Pistol was empty on the table again, just like all your other guns, and had to pick it up, load it, and shoot 4 pieces of paper right in your face, and then kind of back off and shoot the 4x10 knockover steel again at about 12 to 10, 10 to 12 yards, somewhere around there. Then you had to do a mag change and shoot the same array again with those knockovers in paper. So, and then you had to dump and hit the button. So that was they're fun stages, man. It's a real handful.
Yeah, sounds like a good time. And then I know that they actually left them up for the what is it, the Virginia? No, the VIR shooting experience.
Yeah.
So
They
pretty much anyone got to shoot them the next day.
Yeah, they had a match out there where it was like a club series match. Pretty much anybody can come out there and sign up and shoot, and kind of see where your times stack up. I know my boss actually, Sal, went out there and shot that match. I was out of town. I think I was trout fishing, honestly. um, he was out there and shooting, and he's like, "Hey, man, I came like 5 seconds from you on that one stage." And I was like, "Well, good job, man. Good. How'd you do for the rest of the match?" And he's like, "Oh, I sucked." So it's cool, man. Kind of see where the home crowd of three gun, the new shooters and guys have been doing this for a while and trying to get there, can kind of see where they're at, and that's really cool. In the club match, you didn't have the start and stop button, but you still had to shoot the stage, man. So
right.
It seemed like a good time. I know a lot of people loved it from the guys I've talked to.
Yeah, I like that concept. It reminds me of 2015 Nationals where they had the Death Star out there, so you could take your try at that after seeing it on TV all year.
Yeah, that was actually a really fun experience too. The Death Star in practice, that was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So Kyle, go ahead.
Watching Candace Horner shoot it the other night, 5 for 5, kind of made me tuck my tail between my legs. That was impressive too.
That was super impressive. I mean, yeah, like high five, Candace. That was amazing.
Yeah, she did awesome, man.
So I
think too, having the women in the Pro Series this year is going to be cool. I know Nikki Woodall did pretty well. I think Ashley did pretty well too. She moved on to the second round, I'm sure.
Cool.
I think so. Candace made it all the way. I don't know, either she got eliminated in the third round, but that's kind of cool having women in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because you see like Ashley Rourke and Lena Mitchell like so high on like the the match results and everything, and it's like they're kicking like 175 dudes at butts the throughout the whole match. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of humbling too, especially when you get beat by one of them. I know Nikki's beat me a couple times in matches. Ashley's beat me a couple times. It's kind of, you look at the results, go, well, she beat you too, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, Nikki actually beat me in Texas, and I noticed only because we shot in the same squad. I was like, dang it.
Yeah, she's come a long way, man. She has. A lot of the females in this game have come a long way.
So, got to ask you, Kyle, how did you shoot your pro match?
So, going into practice, like I said, I was pretty confident. I was doing pretty well. Got there, I think I was second on the board to go. Watched a guy, new to the Pro Series, Steven Botcher, really good shooter. Actually ended up eliminating me in the eliminator. I'll get to that in a minute. He shot first. He laid out a decent time, a beatable time at that, and I knew I could beat that. So I, went out there and gave it about 90%. I didn't want to go a full 110 because that can cause disasters at times. But
yeah, wheels come off.
Yeah, did pretty decent. Started with the rifle. I think I may have missed one makeup shot or something like that. Went to the pistol. I shot it slow because pistol again is my weak point, and shot it clean though. Did pretty well at that. Then went to the shotgun, and surprisingly, the shotgun gave me more fits than anything. So the clays, they were lined up where you could get two doubles and a triple if you just step right in the right spot, and then you had two more you had to shoot. So a lot of guys, and they're still doing it this match on that stage. They're candy canning loads, so they can shoot 5 bird shot and have 4 slugs at the end of the tube. That way you don't have to load or anything. You just run straight to the box and shoot the slugs, then you're done. So I did that same plan. We all talked about it, thought it was the fastest way. It's kind of ballsy, but when it works, it works. But ended up getting the 2 doubles and the triple, and I can remember still to the very step mid-match, mid-stage, I was telling myself, dude, you're doing really good. Why don't you speed it up a little bit? So I ended up pulling a clay, missing a clay, and I ended up missing a slug just because I rushed myself and had a pretty respectable time. I think Greg Jordan won the stage at like 32 seconds, and I was at a 34 um, raw time. So it's pretty respectable. I think I would have been second or third place on the stage. I'm not sure, but I had a slug, like I said, a clay and slug miss. So that 10 seconds, 10 seconds in that kind of match is a lifetime. So kind of relaxed myself, told myself, it's going to be all right. You have one more stage. I went in the eliminator. Aaron Reed laid down, I think like a 10.9 or something like that. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. And then I was next. I laid down a 9. I think it was a 9.4 or 9.5. I'm not sure. Ended up eliminating Aaron. So I was kind of sitting on the hot seat with one more guy to go in the eliminator. So I was feeling pretty good. Pretty good about myself. Thought, hey, he could screw up or have one missed shot and it'd be over. And I'll move on to the second round. But Stephen Botcher actually ended up. He did it it was less than half a second. I know that it was a real tight one in the eliminator, which was it was fun at the same on the same token. It hurt a lot, man, because you work all those hours in the range and all that ammo shot and
Yeah.
To have a match that lasted 30 minutes and it's like, hey, this is Kyle Soul. He shoots a stage. Bye, Kyle Soul. See you next year. It's kind of that deal. And it's one of those things too with the Pro Series, which it's a really fair rule. If you get knocked out in the first round, you have to earn your pro card back. So I have to go back and requalify at Nationals this year, which I know I can do. That will happen. But it's just one of those things that you're not going to be locked in until the match in October. So it's kind of frustrating, but it was fun, man. I had a heck of a time. It was a blast, hanging out with all those guys all day and doing interviews and glamour shots because most guys that haven't shot the Pro Series aren't used to doing stuff like that. And when you're going to be on TV and your family's going to see you and stuff like that, it's kind of cool.
Get your haircut, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, I did get a haircut. My girlfriend made me.
So when we're talking now, it's like the beginning part of June. So you have all the way until October at the Nationals, and you've got to qualify to get to Nationals with all the regional matches. So what does your practice plan look like for the next few months?
Practice as much as I can. Try to do the same stuff with fundamentals and just loading and long range shooting because you're going to see that at the regionals, and you got to do well at the regionals to get in the Nationals. But kind of honestly, shooting matches too is another way I'm going to try. I'm shooting a lot of matches this year, just because I have a really flexible boss who sponsors me, so it's awesome. So he's kind of cut me loose and let me shoot a lot of matches and represent them. And a Rob Romero quote said, you could spend thousands and thousands of rounds, in your backyard or at a range shooting steel and shooting the same thing over and over, but you will go to a match and, shoot maybe 200 rounds and you're going to learn so much more because when you're under the timer and under the stress, man, everything just changes. Everything either, goes really badly and you got to, kind of react to those situations or, even if something goes good, you got to shock yourself like, whoa, that actually went to my plan, which is very rare in this sport. I mean,
No, I stick to my plan all the time.
Yeah.
Now when I was talking to Rob just a couple weeks ago here, one of the things he said was and even this was before the show, he didn't even say it in the interview, is his plan to win matches is to zero his guns and shoot local matches.
Yep, that's exactly what he does. He does not go out and trains on the range. He shoots local matches. He shoots, he'll text me if I'm in Georgia, hanging out with Nikki. He'll be like, hey man, you're in town. Let's go shoot a USPSA match or Atlanta 3-gun on Sunday. Yeah, man, I'm there. So that's what he does. If there's a match that weekend around his house, he's there. So
yeah,
he and he talks about how he sits back and eats Chick-fil-A all day and all that good stuff. But he actually does. If you ever spend any time with him outside of the range, that man loves Chick-fil-A and hates going to practice.
So just as advertised, Chick-fil-A and local matches.
That's right. That's the way. That's the way to win.
So is that what your schedule is going to be like then? Is Chick-fil-A and local matches?
No, I can't afford Chick-fil-A every day. I wish, but no, yeah, trying to shoot as many local matches as I can. With the regionals kind of flaring up a lot, we just like me and you, we just got back from Texas and shot together there, and in the muck. But
Yeah.
trying to shoot as many matches as I can because really, you learn a lot about yourself in a match situation when, hey, your plan doesn't go right, and you have to kind of go to plan B or plan C, and I look at it this way. People have their different opinion about shooting. They say, "Oh, it's all about fundamentals. It's all about shooting, shooting, shooting." And then for me, it's the case. I know I can do a lot. I know I can hang in the top 10 if I have my mental game right. And I look at shooting about 80% to 85% is mental, and the rest is shooting. Because if you have it in your mind that you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I mean, it's simple as that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And the mental aspect is something that we talk about a lot on the show here. Now, do you have any sort of like mental game practice or any sort of things that you're going to be working on this year to improve your mental game?
Well, Andy Peterson sent me that book that everybody's reading with winning in mind, and actually we were talking at the Florida Regional. We were actually talking about my pro match schedule, and I was like, yeah, I'm shooting with Greg and BJ. I kind of have no chance, and he was like, dude. He's like, I've seen you shoot, man. You're pretty good when you want to be. When you have a calm, relaxed mind, you're pretty good. You're pretty stout. So he's been helping me a lot of the mental aspect of it because he sent me that book and I read it. And, some of the stuff in there actually really makes sense, especially with 3-gun. But just trying to tell myself before a run or a match, man, just hey, you got this. Who cares what the other guy's gonna do? And I think that's what gets me in a lot of matches. Like Texas, I didn't have a great match. I ended up still finishing in the top 15, somewhere around there. But my biggest thing in that match was my mental game. I would follow close to one of the Cobalt Kinetics. I think it was close to either Keith or someone like that. And it's like, oh wow, he just crushed it. I have no chance. So that's one thing that really kind of killed my match there was my mental game. And the muck, you pretty much had to run every stage at 60%, but you can't control the weather.
Well, and then, that messes with your head the whole time too, because all I'm thinking about is like how wet my socks are.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I am shivering and it's 70 degrees out here. Why?
Exactly. Got to dig the poncho out of your truck and everything. And
yeah. Or just hide under the 10x10 tent with all the ROs.
Didn't work fun. After a while, did it?
That was fun though. That was, and everybody's standing on the table, and you and Nikki are like, and Burton Thompson are out there getting soaked, and it's just like, yep, whatever.
Yeah, after a while, it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, what do you think is your biggest strength in the game of 3-gun?
I'd say long range shooting. I've been shooting rifles since I was a little kid, man. I love long range. There's a long range stage. I'm gonna be pretty confident in that. And really, man, I know I can do a lot of things if I just have the confidence. In the Southern Regional, I went in with a really, really high confidence because I just honestly kind of weird, but coming off that Pro Series match, knowing, hey, I can hang with, BJ Norris and Greg Jordan and Tim Yackley if I believe in myself. So I came in there with a pretty confident, you got to find that fine line between cocky and confident. And I was pretty confident there, pulled out a top 10 finish, which was pretty awesome considering the field that was there, like BJ Norris and Jake Latola, Tommy Smith, Rob Romero, those guys. It was pretty cool. But I'd say confidence, man. If I have the confidence and the will, I know I can do it. Now, when I don't believe in myself or tell myself that, you suck at pistol, you better control down. It's stuff like that just kills me. I think I'm my own worst enemy in three gun.
Yeah, I think that that plays out for a lot of us that way. We're our own worst enemies. I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of guys,
It's cliche, man, but it
it
really is
really
true.
is.
It,
Well, you just destroy
I can,
yourself, in your head. You're like, oh, this is a hard stage. This is gonna suck, or something like that. And then it's like,
yeah.
wow, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Even in Texas, man, when I, shooting with Keith and Nick, I was like, I'm a decent shooter, but God, they were making me look stupid. And it's just like, gosh.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I drove to the the awards or prize table walk, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
with Keith and Nick, and and Nick somewhere after he and Keith went up there, texted me, and he's like, "Hey man, we'll meet you back at the house." I was like, "Dude, I drove with you guys. You got to wait for me. Got to wait for me to walk."
They had that luxury of a dryer. They could go dry their clothes. Us guys that stayed in a hotel didn't.
Yeah, just got to let everything air dry.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Kyle, what match are you looking forward to most this year in 16? Now that your pro match is over.
Well, in a couple weeks, me and you talked about earlier, we'll be down to the Clinton House shooting down there. That Eastern region, I know a lot of good shooters from the Southeast that will be there, and it's going to be a really good test of how far I've kind of come since Texas. It's a short time period, but I'm still shooting, trying to on a day-to-day basis, at least once a week. And probably after that, it's going to be pretty clear. The Western Regional out in Utah, that's going to be a good one. Yeah, it's pretty much those two. That's what I'm looking forward to most. I love going out that range in Utah last year was just awesome. Kid Nelson's got an awesome place out there. That's always a cool venue to watch videos. I've seen videos of Hard as Hell. But I think, those are the only two matches that are really going to highlight. I'm going to have some local matches, Atlanta 3-gun, the North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia State Championship for 3-gun Nation. Those will be on my schedule. Not really many more than that, man. I'm going to try to go to Hard as Hell or even talking to Neil Childister with MGM, trying to shoot maybe the Iron Man or Hard as Hell next year. So we'll see.
Yeah, the Iron Man looks like fun, and we're supposed to have one on the East Coast coming to you soon here, so you should probably look for that one.
Yeah, they say it's up at Peacemaker.
Yeah.
I know we did a regional up there a couple of years ago. I think I looked at my schedule. I think we had something else going on that weekend. I don't know, maybe a fishing trip or something.
Gotta get your fishing in, right?
That's right, man. Got to go outside.
Well, Kyle, if listeners want to follow you or get in touch with you, how can they do that? Are you active on social media and places like that?
Yeah, mostly on Facebook. It's Kyle Soul on Facebook. You'll see me at, if you shoot the regional matches, you'll see me usually I'm either swinging a hammer if it's a pre-match day or running the ROs. So look for that 6-foot blonde kid holding a timer or a hammer if you're coming out there. That's pretty much it. I kind of stay quiet on social media because I don't like to get involved because I know a bunch of drama kind of comes out from some matches and stuff like that. So I kind of just stay quiet on that. But no, if you want to find me on Facebook, it's Kyle Soul, KYLESOLE. So it's shoot me a friend request. Usually I'm pretty bad at getting back, but I try to keep an eye out this time.
Right on. Well, Kyle, we are working toward wrapping up here, and I'm going to ask you 3 last questions that I ask all my guests. First, can you tell me about your most spectacular disqualification?
Oh, there's so many. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Can I share 2 of them with you? Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Both of them with the shotgun. Pretty funny. So the first one, it was a shotgun only kind of club match. It was pretty fun. I think we had like 90 some shooters down there shooting. Something my dad put on just kind of get ready for, because back it was 2 years ago I believe, we had those big Remington Versamax shotgun championships. The 200-person match.
Yeah.
All shotgun. Those were a big hit, and my second story comes from one of those matches. No, so it was me and Raven Perry running a squad, and first stage we get up, and you had to shoot about I think it was like 120-yard slug shots from this back of an old Jeep Grand Cherokee that's motor blown up and everything's all rusted. So why not be a great range prop? You had to start in there with your shotgun. Your shotgun was you're standing outside of the Jeep, hands on like surrender mark, like you're being patted down or arrested, and you got to go in there, pick up your shotgun, shoot some slugs, get out, and shoot like 30 some bird shot. And I get in, and I try to be all slick and cool. Ended up trying to brush the safety with my finger, then grab it and pull it up and start to shoot. So brush the safety with my finger, grab the shotgun, and before I even shouldered it, boom, right into the gas tank.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was it's pretty epic. Gas started going out everywhere. People were looking at me like I was crazy. And Raven Perry was running the timer. And I looked at him and I was like, "Hey man, start catching these shells for me." So I started unloading show clear. That was one. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then
gas rolling out of the tank. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was scary. But later on that year, we were down in Atlanta doing the Atlanta version of the Remington Shotgun Championship there, and it was January. It was cold. First day, actually, I had a really good match going. I was shooting with Matt Martini, Rob Romero, Nicky Woodall, a lot of good shooters, and I had a pretty good match going. I looked at the results on Saturday. It was a 2-day match. I looked at the results on Saturday. It's like, hey man, I'm in the top 10. Cool, keep it up. Going on Sunday, our first stage was a mix. It was a candy stripe stage where you had to counterload shotgun, slugs, birdshot, and buckshot. So I had this great plan worked out, and it's like, oh, by the way, you're first. So had this great plan worked out and kind of rushed it. Ended up having, like, I went out of sequence somewhere, and I went down to load. Actually, no, let me back that up. So I had a malfunction in my shotgun at the time, So I racked out. It was a spent shell from a slug. I racked it out, and I thought I saw nothing go in the chamber. So I was like, oh, you got that tube's got like 3 or 4 in it. Why don't you go ahead and load 8 and finish out and just eat some of the penalties. So pulled down quad loaded 8, weekend style, and Rob was showing me this one time in a match. He said, but you have to be careful. You have to make sure your tube is not, you don't have one in the chamber, and your tube is the tube's just loaded, And where you have the safety off and you hit the trigger with your thumb, because on those like a Remington Versamax is what I was shooting.
Right.
If you hit the trigger, it simulates hitting that little button that sets a shell on the lifter, so you can rack it after that. That's a way of loading it pretty fast and efficient. But you have to make sure that chamber's empty.
Right.
So, thought it was empty, rolled over, hit the trigger, and the gun was at about a 45 up into some pine trees. And boom, and I was like, yeah, that wasn't smart. So, kind of 2 stupid DQs with the shotgun, both of them involving safety. So every time I hold the shotgun, I'm always, you'll see me look like a guy from the military clicking that safety on and off. So it's one of those things, and another one of those. Hey, the RO looks at me, and I just start unloading.
Yeah, so DQs are always fun to talk about because they're kind of funny stories from time to time, as long as everyone turns out okay in the end, and then we can learn something from it. So, Kyle, what did you learn from these 2 DQs?
Always keep your safety on, and never touch the trigger until you are ready. The 2 most basic fundamentals of shooting.
That's good. Well, a good way to reinforce them too.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, where do you see the sport of 3-gun headed?
I mean, hell, in the last 3 years, man, you looking at some of the numbers with 3-Gun Nation, it's like 7,000, 8,000 some odd members now, somewhere around that number. I remember back when it was, close to, 800. Just people are are seeing the videos and seeing stuff like that. And a lot of people come from these one gun sports, USPSA, IDPA, or even like bench rest rifle or precision matches, and look at it and say, "Wow, look how dynamic the sport is." And a lot of people jump in. I see it growing really nicely as far as getting new shooters in. One thing I do see that's kind of frustrating at times, back to that social media thing, you see a lot of people really comment negatively toward these matches. Whether it's like rules or stages and stuff like that, or calls made by the RO. That's all fine and good, but when you blast stuff like that on Facebook, all you're doing is hurting the sport. All you're doing is showing the negative side of three gun, and you're going to have that, but it's getting to be nowadays, especially with technology, man. It's everything's so instant that, oh, this RO made a horrible call on stage 6. Don't go to stage 6. Talk to the range master. And it causes a lot of unneeded stress on range masters and other people in the sport. Me and Andy Peterson were talking about it. If people had this energy, the negative energy that they're showing towards the sport, if they just flipped that and did it in a positive way, this sport would be so much more enjoyable to shoot at times. And that's what one thing that gets me. I see it. It's growing, definitely growing, but sometimes you just gotta know when to be quiet and just hush. Just be cool. Just don't say anything.
Well, that's I totally hear that, and all social media is like that. No matter what the topic is, whether it's Keebler crackers or three gun, but the goal that I had with this show is to keep it positive. Like, we don't come on here and like rag on anyone and everything. So I appreciate you for bringing on your positive energy in this and sharing that message with the audience. So
yeah, that's it takes effort to be negative towards somebody.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why just keep, if you don't have something nice to say, just don't say anything.
Well, Kyle, I think that's a great final thought. Keep it positive, right? Let's all keep the sport positive and have fun. Kyle, this has been a really good time, man. I really enjoyed having you on the show here, and thanks for being with me, man. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, man, awesome. Looking forward to seeing you. I'll be listening on the way down, actually, so it'll be fun.
Right on, man. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Kyle Soul. Like we mentioned in the interview, I got to squad with Kyle at the Southwestern Regional, and he's a cool dude, so it was great to do a deep dive interview on the podcast here. Now, I have a special match announcement from friend of the show, Zach Weaver, that you may remember as the talented artist behind the Born to 3-Gun t-shirts. The Black Arsenal Great Lakes 3-Gun Championship is coming to Bend of the River Conservation Club in Michigan, July 17th. This is a one-day format match with at least 7 fun and challenging stages. It will feature all of the usual divisions, and you can expect a mix of rifle, pistol, and shotgun, including slug and buckshot targets. There will be trophies and random draw prize table as well. They have less than 20 spots left, so check it out now. They're on PracticeScore and Facebook as Great Lakes 3-Gun Championship. I'll have links to sign up for the match and more at 3gunshow.com/episode 78. And don't forget to sign up for the June giveaway of the MGM Targets 10-inch Sportsman's Target. Check it out at 3gunshow.com/MGM. When you make a purchase at MGM Targets, you can save 10% using the code DHMGM10. You can also support the 3 Gun Show podcast by using our affiliate link when you shop at Brownells. Just go to 3gunshow.com/Brownells and shop like normal. We earn a small commission on what you buy at no additional cost to you, and it helps keep the show running. If you like the show, please tell a friend, subscribe on iTunes, and leave a review by going to 3gunshow.com/iTunes. Thank you so much for downloading, listening, and subscribing to the show. I'm Dave Hartman, and I'll catch you in the next episode.
If you are finished, unload, show clear.